My friend, too many people are paralyzed waiting for a miracle, waiting for confirmation, waiting for the perfect timing, waiting for a sign in the sky. But listen carefully. Your future is not built by signs, it's built by structure. You don't need another sign, you need discipline and a daily plan. The truth is, success does not respond to waiting, it responds to working. Destiny does not bow to those who sit idle, it bows to those who rise daily with intentionality. The world doesn't reward dreamers who do nothing, it rewards doers who build their lives step by step. Today, I want to give you 6 principles that will shift your life from waiting to winning, from hoping to building, from wandering to walking with purpose. Desire makes you wish, but discipline makes you win. You see, everybody wakes up in the morning with desires. People desire wealth, they desire health, they desire success, they desire influence. They desire recognition. Desire is the fire of the human heart. But if all you do is desire, then you will live in frustration. Desire alone has never built a business. Desire alone has never written a book. Desire alone has never changed a life. It is discipline that translates desire into action and action into results. Think about it this way. A young man desires to get in shape. He looks in the mirror and dreams of muscles, strength, and stamina. He even buys gym clothes, new sneakers, and a water bottle. He watches motivational videos about fitness and tells himself, I want this badly. But weeks go by and he hasn't stepped inside the gym. His desire is real, but his discipline is missing. And without discipline, his dream remains an illusion. On the other hand, another person wakes up at 6 a.m. every morning. Even when it rains, even when they feel tired, even when no one is cheering for them, they push through the workout, 1 repetition at a time. That person may not have shouted about their desire, but their discipline is quietly building a future the world will soon see. Desire is easy because it lives in your emotions. Discipline is hard because it lives in your decisions. When you are excited, it's easy to want something. But when the excitement fades, when life becomes routine, when comfort pulls you back into bed, that's when discipline speaks. Discipline says, get up anyway. Do it anyway. Stay consistent anyway. That is the difference between the dreamer and the achiever. One feels, the other does. Look at life. The student who desires good grades may talk about being at the top of the class. They may even tell their parents or friends about how badly they want to graduate with honors. But the student who disciplines themselves to study every day, who reviews notes while others scroll endlessly on social media, who chooses the library over the party, that's the student who achieves the honor. The diploma is not given to the one who desires it. It's awarded to the one who disciplined themselves enough to earn it. Desire excites you at the beginning, but discipline sustains you until the end. Imagine a person who desires to write a book. The desire is burning, the dream is alive. They even tell themselves, this will be the book that changes lives. But months later, not a single chapter is written. Why? Because they were waiting for inspiration instead of practicing discipline. Discipline doesn't wait for inspiration. It creates momentum. Even if you write 1 page a day, in a year you have 365 pages. That's a book, not because you desired it, but because you disciplined yourself to do it daily. Here's the truth. Desire will give you vision, but discipline will give you victory. You can desire financial freedom all you want, but if you don't discipline yourself to budget, save, and invest, money will slip through your fingers. You can desire strong relationships, but if you don't discipline yourself to listen, to communicate, and to be consistent, your relationships will collapse. You can desire to build a business, but if you don't discipline yourself to wake up early, Study your industry, serve your clients, and stay focused when distractions come. The business will remain a dream. Discipline is greater than desire because discipline takes over when your emotions quit. Discipline carries you when motivation disappears. Discipline keeps you walking when you feel like running away. That is why successful people are not always the most talented or the most gifted, but they are almost always the most disciplined. Talent may open the door, but discipline is what keeps you inside the room. Picture an athlete. Many young athletes desire to play professionally. They desire the fame, the crowd, the money, the success. But only a few rise to the top. Why? Because those few are disciplined enough to train while others sleep, to eat right while others indulge, to practice when no one is watching. The world sees the highlight on television, but they don't see the lonely hours of discipline behind the scenes. Desire wanted the spotlight, but discipline paid the price. Every day you are faced with two choices: feed your desire or follow your discipline. Feeding desire feels good for the moment. You dream, you imagine, you talk. Following discipline feels hard in the moment. You sacrifice, you sweat, you repeat. But one leaves you empty, the other leaves you fruitful. The difference between the life you want and the life you live is not desire. It is discipline. And here is the most liberating truth: discipline is not something only special people have. Discipline is a choice anyone can make. The question is not whether you desire success, because everyone does. The real question is, will you discipline yourself to pay the price for it? Your destiny is not hidden in some faraway place. It is hidden in the small things you do every single day. People often think their future is shaped in one big moment, one major breakthrough, one sudden opportunity. But the truth is, destiny is not built in a day, it is built daily. What you consistently practice shapes the life you eventually live. If I could walk beside you for just 24 hours, observing how you spend your time, what you focus on, how you handle distractions, and where you invest your energy, I could predict the trajectory of your next 10 years. That is how powerful habits are. Think about it. A person doesn't wake up overweight in one night. It happens because of daily choices. Choosing fried food over fruit, choosing the couch over a walk, choosing instant pleasure over long-term health. Likewise, no one wakes up wealthy overnight. Wealth is built through small daily habits. Saving a little, investing consistently, learning steadily, and working diligently. Your daily habits are the seeds, and your future is simply the harvest of those seeds. Consider the morning routine. The way you start your day sets the rhythm for everything else. The person who snoozes the alarm 5 times, scrolls on social media for an hour, and rushes out the door already late has programmed their day for chaos. But the one who wakes up early, takes a moment for clarity, writes down their goals, and intentionally plans their priorities is already walking in alignment with success. Small beginnings create massive differences. 10 years from now, those two people will not be in the same place. Their destinies will reflect their habits. Daily habits also control your mental environment. The books you read, the conversations you entertain, the shows you consume, the thoughts you allow to repeat in your head, these become the architects of your thinking. If you constantly feed your mind with negativity, fear, and gossip, your life will mirror that environment. But if you discipline yourself to feed on wisdom, growth, positivity, and vision, your life will mirror that as well. Your mind is like soil. Whatever seeds you plant daily will eventually grow into the trees of your destiny. Imagine a student preparing for an exam. One chooses to study a little every day, just 1 hour consistently, no matter how they feel. Another procrastinates, waiting until the night before to cram. On exam day, both may enter the same room, but only one will sit with confidence. Why? Because daily habits decide destiny. The first student trained their mind, layered knowledge over time, and built mastery. The second student gambled with inconsistency. Life works the same way. Your future is your exam, and your daily habits are your preparation. Look at people who build great businesses. Rarely do they begin with millions of dollars or perfect conditions. They begin with daily habits of discipline, making calls, serving clients, refining ideas, solving problems. They do it every day, especially when they don't feel like it. Over time, the habit of consistency compounds into growth. But those who wait for the right moment, who only work when they feel inspired, who start and stop based on emotions, never create momentum. Their desire may be loud, but their habits are silent. And silence never builds destiny. Even relationships are shaped by habits. A couple does not fall out of love in one moment. It happens gradually when small daily habits of neglect replace habits of attention. Skipping the small words like, thank you, I appreciate you, or I love you. Choosing to scroll instead of listening. Avoiding meaningful conversations day after day until distance replaces intimacy. On the other hand, couples who build habits of communication, kindness, and presence daily see their love deepen with time. Again, destiny is in the habits. It's easy to underestimate the small things because they don't seem dramatic in the moment. Reading 10 pages of a book feels small. Saving $10 feels insignificant. Exercising for 20 minutes feels ordinary. But here is the secret. Small things done consistently are never small. They multiply, they compound, they gather force. Just as a river starts with drops of water and becomes mighty, so your destiny starts with small daily acts and becomes unstoppable. Ask yourself, what are my habits training me for? Because every habit is training your future. If you spend your evenings on distractions, your destiny will be distracted. If you spend your mornings on clarity, your destiny will be clear. If your daily habits are sloppy, your future will be sloppy. If your daily habits are intentional, your future will be intentional. The truth is, you are already practicing for your future, whether you realize it or not. Think of an athlete who trains for years before the championship. The world only sees the big game, but the athlete knows the game was won or lost in the private daily practices. Success is not built on the stage. It is revealed on the stage. Success is built in the hidden hours of practice, repetition, and discipline. That is how destiny works. It doesn't arrive suddenly, it arrives slowly through the rhythm of your habits. Destiny is not waiting to surprise you. It is waiting to mirror you. Whatever you do repeatedly is silently building your future. The greatest question you should ask yourself is not, what do I want in life? But, what do I do every day? Because what you do every day is a prophecy of where you are heading. Too many people are trapped in the waiting room of life. They say, I'm waiting for the right time, the perfect season, the clear sign, the big opportunity. But let me tell you something powerful. Waiting has stolen more dreams than failure ever could. You don't need another confirmation to begin. You don't need the stars to align before you act. You don't need everyone to approve before you start. What you need is the courage to build with what you already have, where you already are right now. Think about a farmer. If a farmer kept waiting for the perfect weather, sunny, no wind, no clouds, no chance of rain, he would never plant a seed. And if he never plants, he can never expect a harvest. The wise farmer knows that the conditions will never be perfect. He plants anyway. He sows in faith. He works the ground, knowing that progress is not built on perfection, but on participation. In the same way, life is not asking you to wait for perfection. It is asking you to move with what you've got. Many people say, when I have more money, then I'll start the business. When I have more confidence, then I'll step out. When I feel more prepared, then I'll chase my dream. But that's the illusion of waiting. Preparation does not make you ready. Action does. Readiness is built on the journey, not before it. The person who starts small today will be far ahead of the one who keeps waiting for the perfect tomorrow. Look at a student who dreams of becoming a doctor. If that student waits until they feel fully capable, fully prepared, fully confident, they will never begin. But the student who applies, who studies, who steps into the classroom, even with trembling hands, is the one who eventually becomes the professional. Confidence is not born in waiting, it is forged in doing. Think about technology. The phone in your hand, the computer on your desk, the apps you use daily. None of these inventions were born perfect. They were released, built, refined, and upgraded over time. If the inventors had waited for perfection, you would not even have access to the tools you depend on today. They started with what they had, and improvement followed their courage. That is the same law for your life. Perfection is not the starting point. It is the result of consistent building. Waiting creates paralysis. It convinces you that tomorrow will always be better than today. It whispers, not now, later. But later turns into weeks, then months, then years. Suddenly, you look back and realize you've been waiting for a future you never built. Time does not stop for you. Every day you hesitate is a day you cannot reclaim. Opportunity is like a passing train. It doesn't stop forever, it keeps moving. The wise know how to jump on, even if the ride feels uncomfortable at first. Look at the people who inspire you most. They are not the ones who sat waiting for doors to open magically. They are the ones who built doors when none existed. They are the ones who acted when conditions were uncertain. They are the ones who took a leap while others froze in hesitation. Their greatness did not come because everything was perfect. It came because they moved in spite of imperfection. A young man once said, "I'll start writing when I feel inspired." The problem was inspiration never stayed long enough to create consistency. Another man said, "I will write one page every day, whether I feel inspired or not." After a year, the first man still had a dream, but the second man had a finished book. Inspiration is a gift, but discipline is the builder. Waiting for inspiration is waiting for a stranger who may never knock on your door. Building, however, creates its own momentum. Some of you are waiting for permission from people. You think you need others to validate you before you can move forward. But life does not require everyone's approval to make progress. If you keep waiting for the applause before you begin, you will die in silence with your dreams still buried. Begin now, even if no one claps. Begin now, even if no one believes. Because once results come, the same people who doubted you will ask how you did it. Others are waiting for a clear sign. You pray, "If this is for me, let the sky change color. Let the door swing open by itself. Let something magical happen to show me I'm ready." But the truth is, your very desire is already the sign. The burning dream inside of you is the evidence that you must act. Waiting for more than that is fear disguised as wisdom. Life rewards builders, not waiters. The house you dream about will not build itself. The career you want will not form on its own. The health you desire will not appear without effort. The book, the business, the dream, all of it requires bricks of daily action. Every time you take a step, you lay another brick. Every day you wait, the foundation remains empty. A year from now, the only difference between you and someone living their dream will be that they built while you delayed. Stop waiting, start building. The world is not looking for people who had great potential but never acted. The world is changed by those who built something out of nothing, who worked with what they had, who dared to move when everything in them said wait. Your life is not meant to be lived on pause. Every second you hesitate is a second of destiny wasted. The only way to honor the gift of life is to use it now, not someday. A dream without a plan is nothing more than a wish. And a wish, no matter how beautiful, has no power until it is structured into a plan. Planning is the invisible line that separates those who talk about success from those who actually achieve it. It is the evidence that you are not just daydreaming, but you are committed, intentional, and serious about your future. People can tell you what they want all day long. I want to start a business. I want to change my life. I want to be financially free. I want to get fit. But if they don't have a plan written down, if they don't have steps mapped out, then those words are empty. Words without a plan are noise, but words with a plan become power. Think about a builder. If a builder shows up to a piece of land with bricks and cement, but no blueprint, the workers would look at him like he has lost his mind. You cannot build a house by guesswork. You need a plan that shows where each wall will stand, where each window will be placed, how the foundation will be laid. Without a blueprint, the building will collapse. And that is exactly what happens to many people's lives. They are busy working, busy running around, but because there is no plan, their life collapses under confusion, frustration, and wasted effort. When you plan, you tell life, I am serious about my destination. Planning is proof that you respect time, because without a plan, time will waste you. Time doesn't stop for anyone. It keeps moving forward whether you are ready or not. The person with no plan wakes up and reacts to the day. The phone rings, they answer. Social media pings, they scroll. A friend calls, they wander. They are like a leaf blown by the wind. Wherever life pushes them, that is where they go. But the one with a plan wakes up and says, this is what I will achieve today. This is where my energy will go. These are the steps I will take. That person controls their day instead of letting the day control them. Planning is also the greatest form of respect you can show your own dreams. If you say you want something, but never sit down to map out how to get there, you are not respecting your own vision. Respect is not what you say with your mouth, it's what you do with your preparation. A student who respects graduation day creates a study plan. An athlete who respects the championship creates a training plan. An entrepreneur who respects their business idea creates a business plan. Planning is the act of saying to your dream, you are valuable enough for me to prepare for. Let's take an everyday example. Imagine two people who want to run a marathon. The first one says, I really want to do it. I can picture myself crossing the finish line. I can already imagine the medal around my neck. They desire it, they dream about it, they talk about it. But they never plan their training schedule. They never plan their diet. They never plan their sleep. The second one says, I want to do this too, but I know I can't just wish it. I need to plan my mornings, plan my running schedule, plan my meals. 6 months later, who do you think crosses the finish line? Not the one who only desired it, but the one who planned for it. That is the power of planning. It makes the difference between fantasy and fulfillment. Planning does not guarantee you won't face obstacles, but it prepares you to navigate them. A ship does not set sail without a map. The ocean is unpredictable. Storms will come, winds will blow, waves will rise. But a captain with a map always knows how to adjust, how to correct course, how to stay on track. In the same way, life will throw storms at you. But if you have a plan, you know how to adjust without losing direction. Those who live without a plan panic in the storm. Those with a plan may bend, but they don't break. One of the most dangerous lies people tell themselves is, "I'll figure it out as I go." That sounds adventurous, but it often ends in regret. You don't stumble into success by accident. Success is planned. Wealth is planned. Growth is planned. Peace is planned. Even rest is planned. If you don't plan your time, distractions will steal it. If you don't plan your money, expenses will consume it. If you don't plan your health, stress will destroy it. Everything you don't plan for will eventually control you. Look at the great companies you admire today. None of them became great because someone woke up one morning and said, "Let's see what happens." No, they sat in boardrooms. They mapped out strategies. They outlined budgets. They studied trends. They wrote out projections. They took their vision and put it on paper, then built systems around it. Ordinary people wait for life to happen, but extraordinary people plan life into existence. Planning is not just about paper and pen, it is about discipline. When you plan, you are forcing your mind to think about the future, to anticipate challenges, to clarify your priorities. A written plan is like a mirror. It shows you whether your actions match your goals. Without a plan, you can deceive yourself into believing you are making progress, when in reality you are only busy. A plan forces you to measure, to evaluate, and to adjust. Every goal needs a plan, and every plan requires action. You don't need the whole picture, but you do need the next step. Planning turns a mountain into steps you can climb. Without it, the mountain looks impossible, and fear keeps you stuck at the bottom. With it, you realize that every big dream is only a series of small steps executed daily. The plan is the ladder that takes you from where you are to where you want to be. Everybody wants the big things. Everybody wants the stage, the spotlight, the recognition, the wealth, the influence, the opportunity that makes their name echo in rooms they've never entered. But the truth is this: life does not hand over the big until you've proven you can master the small. It is in the small responsibilities, the little details, the hidden moments that your future is being tested. If you fail the small tests, life will never trust you with the bigger ones. Think of a child learning to walk. Before they can run, they wobble step by step, sometimes falling, sometimes holding onto a table for balance. No parent expects a baby to leap across the room in one day. They celebrate the little steps. And with each small step, the child gains strength until one day running becomes natural. If you skip the small stages, you never build the strength for the larger ones. In the same way, if you cannot manage the little opportunities life gives you today, how can you expect to handle the enormous ones you're asking for tomorrow? People often say, if I had $1 million, I would invest it wisely. But the same person wastes $10 on things they don't need. If you cannot handle 10, how will you handle 1,000,000? Others say, if I were the leader, I would run things better. Yet in their current position, they show up late, they cut corners, they complain about responsibility. If you cannot lead yourself, how can you lead others? The truth is simple: your promotion is hidden in how you treat the little assignments. Think about work. A young employee wants to be a manager, but when given a small task like organizing files or responding to clients, they do it carelessly. What they don't realize is that leaders are not watching to see if you can do something grand. They are watching to see if you are faithful with what seems insignificant. Excellence in the small things signals readiness for the bigger things. Neglect in the small things signals immaturity, and immaturity will disqualify you from the opportunities you think you deserve. Take an athlete. Everyone sees the big game, the championship, the trophy. But championships are not won in the arena. They are won in the daily habits nobody claps for. The push-ups at dawn, the running drills in the rain, the endless hours of practice. The choice to stay disciplined while others party. Those are the small things that build the strength for the big victories. The crowd celebrates the performance, but the performance is only the fruit of 1,000 unseen decisions. Even relationships follow the same principle. People want long-lasting love, deep trust, unbreakable bonds. But trust is not built in one dramatic moment. It is built in the tiny, daily acts of consistency. Saying, thank you, choosing to listen, keeping promises, even the small ones, showing up when you said you would. These are the little things that make relationships strong. Break those little habits, and you break the foundation. Strengthen those habits, and you prepare yourself for a love that lasts. It is easy to dismiss the small things because they don't look glamorous. Waking up early, saving a little money, reading a few pages every day, writing down your goals, practicing when no one notices. These look ordinary, but greatness hides in the ordinary. Nobody claps when you wake up at 5 a.m. Nobody throws a parade when you choose to study instead of scroll. Nobody celebrates when you pack away $10 into savings. But those small acts accumulate. They stack up like bricks until one day you realize you've built something massive. A tree begins with a seed. A skyscraper begins with a single brick. A marathon begins with one step. Nothing big starts big. Everything big starts small. And if you cannot be trusted with the seed, the brick, the step, then you cannot be trusted with the forest, the tower, or the finish line. The small things are not punishments. They are training grounds. They are the proof that you are capable of holding more. The reason so many people feel stuck is because they despise the small. They look at their current job, their current income, their current environment, and they say, this is too small for me. But the truth is, if you don't honor where you are, you'll never arrive where you want to be. Every big opportunity is disguised as a small responsibility. The person who sees the value in the small will always outgrow the one who despises it. Think of a musician. Before filling stadiums, they play in small clubs, empty bars, and even on the street. Many would say, this is beneath me. But the true greats use those small stages to sharpen their craft, to learn how to move a crowd, to discipline their voice. When the big stage came, they were ready. The big stage did not make them great. The small stage prepared them for greatness. So ask yourself, how are you handling the small things in your life right now? How are you treating the little opportunities, the tasks that no one notices, the details no one thanks you for? Because those very things are shaping your future. The big is always locked behind the small. Until you master what looks ordinary, you will never unlock what looks extraordinary. Talent is a gift, but consistency is a choice. Talent will get people to notice you for a moment, but consistency will keep you relevant for a lifetime. Too many people rely on talent alone, thinking that their natural ability will carry them to success. But history is filled with talented individuals who never reached their potential because they lacked the discipline to keep showing up. The truth is, talent may open the first door, but consistency is what keeps it open. Think of the student who is naturally brilliant. They understand things quickly, they barely study, they can pass tests with little effort. Then there is another student who struggles. They don't grasp the material easily. They have to study longer. They have to ask more questions. But while the talented student becomes complacent, the struggling student develops consistency. They review their notes daily. They spend hours in the library. They refuse to quit even when it's difficult. In the end, the consistent student surpasses the talented one, because talent without consistency fades, but consistency without talent grows. Life rewards the one who stays the course. You don't have to be the smartest, the fastest, or the most gifted, but if you can be the most consistent, eventually you will rise above the rest. Look at athletes. Many professional players will tell you there were more talented people who never made it. Why? Because talent got them noticed, but inconsistency destroyed their chance. The athlete who trains every morning, who eats right, who disciplines their mind and body, will outlast the one who relies only on raw ability. Consistency creates longevity, and longevity creates greatness. Imagine someone who wants to get fit. In January, they are motivated. They buy gym clothes, sign up for a membership, and show up 5 days in a row. By February, the excitement has died down. They stop going. Another person decides they will go 3 times a week, every week, no matter how they feel. They don't overdo it, but they stay consistent. 6 months later, the first person is back where they started, but the second person has transformed. That's the difference. Talent or motivation gets you started, but consistency keeps you going until the result arrives. Consistency is powerful because it compounds. Doing a little every day may not feel dramatic in the moment, but over time it builds something unstoppable. A person who reads 10 pages of a book daily may not feel like they're making progress, but in 1 year they've read 12 books. In 5 years, 60 books. Their knowledge is expanding. Their perspective is growing. Their vocabulary is sharpening, all because of a small daily habit. Another person who waits until they feel like reading may read 1 or 2 books a year. The gap doesn't show in a week, but it explodes over time. That is the quiet strength of consistency. Even in relationships, consistency matters more than grand gestures. Anyone can impress someone for a short time with flowers, gifts, or fancy words. But real trust is built when you show up every day, when you keep your word, when you are reliable. Love is not sustained by talent, it is sustained by consistency. People don't remember how talented you were at speaking. They remember how consistent you were in showing care, respect, and attention. Talent is flashy, consistency is quiet. Talent gets applause, consistency often goes unnoticed. But when the dust settles, consistency is what produces results that cannot be denied. Many dreamers fail because they are waiting for perfect inspiration, waiting to feel motivated, waiting for everything to align before they act. Consistent people don't wait, they act. They show up even when they're tired. They work even when they don't feel like it. They push even when no one is watching. That is why their results speak louder than their excuses. Think about the tortoise and the hare. The hare had talent, speed, natural ability. The tortoise had none of that. But while the hare wasted time, distracted and overconfident, the tortoise kept moving steadily. Step by step, slow but consistent, until eventually he crossed the finish line first. Life is not a sprint, it is a marathon. Talent may help you sprint ahead, but consistency ensures you finish strong. Consistency also builds character. When you force yourself to keep showing up, you build resilience, discipline, and focus. These qualities become part of who you are, and they outlast talent. Talent is external. It's about what you can do. Consistency is internal. It's about who you become. And who you become will always matter more than what you can do. The truth is, talent will impress people, but consistency will inspire them. People don't look up to you because you did something amazing one time. They admire you because you kept going when others quit. They respect you because you kept showing up when it wasn't easy, when no one was watching, when you could have walked away but didn't. That's the kind of consistency that separates ordinary lives from extraordinary legacies. You have listened, you have reflected, but now is the moment of decision. Life is not moved by your intentions. It is moved by your actions. You cannot wish your way into greatness. You cannot hope your way into success. And you cannot pray your way into discipline without movement. You must rise every day and declare, I will not wait for permission. I will not wait for the right moment. I will not wait for a sign. The sign is me. The time is now. And the power is in my hands. And there are millions of people who went to their graves full of dreams that were never lived out, full of books that were never written, full of businesses that were never started, full of inventions that were never created. Do not let that be your story. The richest place in the world is not the oil fields. It is not the diamond mines. It is the graveyard, because there lies all the unfulfilled potential of people who waited too long. You cannot afford to keep waiting, because time is not waiting for you. One day you will look back at your life and you will either celebrate that you built it with discipline or regret that you wasted it with hesitation. Discipline is the bridge between where you are and where you dream to be. Without it, your vision collapses into dust. With it, your vision takes flesh and becomes reality. You are not here to be average. You are not here to just exist. You are here to manifest the greatness planted inside you. But greatness does not appear in one moment. It appears in your daily commitment, your daily grind, your daily plan. Stop waiting for the applause, because the applause will not come until you produce the results. Stop waiting for people to validate you, because your validation is in your consistency. Stop waiting for inspiration, because inspiration follows action, not the other way around. Winners don't wait for the right feeling. Winners create the right environment through discipline. Do you want to know the difference between the successful and the unsuccessful? It is not luck. It is not connections. It is not even talent. It is discipline repeated daily. The successful keep showing up when others quit. They keep pushing when others give excuses. They keep building when others are waiting for a sign. The truth is, you don't need motivation every day. You need systems that carry you even when motivation disappears. That is why discipline will always be more powerful than desire. Look around you. Every champion you admire was once a beginner who decided not to quit. Every business you respect was once just an idea written on paper by someone who decided to plan and execute. Every strong body you see in the gym was once a weak body that decided to show up consistently. Every book that moved you was once a blank page that someone decided to write daily. The extraordinary is hidden in the ordinary, and the only way to reach it is to keep going when others stop. So rise up and make your declaration. I will not die with my dreams inside me. I will not go to the grave full. I will pour out everything I have. I will build it. I will write it. I will live it. I will discipline myself when no one is watching, because my future is worth the price. My destiny is worth the sacrifice. My purpose is worth the fight. You do not need a miracle to start. You need movement. You do not need a sign in the sky. You need structure in your life. You do not need to be perfect. You need to be consistent. Discipline will hurt you now, but regret will hurt you forever. Choose your pain wisely. The pain of discipline weighs ounces, but the pain of regret weighs tons. There is a version of you that you haven't even met yet. A stronger, wiser, greater, more powerful version of you. And that version is waiting on the other side of your discipline. That version is locked behind your daily plan. Every morning that you choose to rise, every small habit you repeat, every sacrifice you make, it all pulls you closer to that version of yourself. So stop waiting for a sign. You are the sign. Stop waiting for tomorrow. Tomorrow is not promised. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. The perfect moment is a lie. The perfect moment is the one you decide to create. The world does not belong to those who wait. It belongs to those who work. History does not remember those who sat in fear. It remembers those who acted in faith. And legacy is not built by the hesitant, but by the disciplined.